This meeting will now come to order. Good evening. The City Council will convene on Thursday, February 25th, 2021, to hold a regular meeting at 7:30 for the purpose of discussing any and all business via in-person participation for the City Council only and remote participation for all others in accordance with Chapter 48 of the Massachusetts General Laws and Governor Baker's emergency order dated March 12, 2020. In accordance with the Governor's order suspending certain provisions of the Open Meeting Law, General Laws, Chapter 30A, Section 18, and the Governor's March 15, 2020 order imposing strict limitation on the number of people that may gather in one place, this meeting of the City Council will be conducted via remote participation to the greatest extent possible. No in-person attendance of the members of the public will be permitted, but every effort will be made to ensure that the public can adequately access the proceedings in real time via technological means. Alternative public access to this meeting shall be provided in the following manner. Number one, this meeting is being televised by PBD Access Television on Cable Channel 9. Number two, real-time public comment during public hearings can be addressed to the PBD City Council using the Zoom virtual meeting software for remote access. Users may view the meeting and make a comment or question to the chair via the audio option. This meeting is being taped by the PBD Access Television and is also being recorded by the city stenographer. Let's all rise for a moment of silence. Now please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge of allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, and justice for all. Mr. President, I'd like to move to accept late communication number 1 as approval of the record. So moved.
Thank you, Councilor Gould. You've heard the motion by Councilor Gould. Any comments? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Councilors Gould.
Yes.
Manning Martin. Sasslaw.
Yes.
Welton.
Yes.
Charis.
Yes.
McGinn.
Yes.
Mitsoulas.
Yes.
Turco.
Yes.
Rosignol.
Yes.
Melville.
Yes.
O'Neill.
Yes.
Motion carries 11-0.
There are no hearings this evening, so we'll move to reports of committees. The first one is the Industrial and Community Development Committee. Councilor Gould.
Thank you, Mr. President. We held a meeting tonight of the Industrial Community Development. In attendance was Councilor Charis, Councilor McGinn, Councilor Melville, Councilor Rosignol, and myself as chair, and all other councilors were in attendance. Tonight's discussion was an ongoing discussion of our PBD housing production plan, and we finally nailed it. And I appreciate everyone's help with this. The mayor gave his opening statements about the numbers, and they look promising. We still are not at 10%, but we're 9.51%. And if we get approval of some projects that are in the pipeline, it could put us over the 10% mark up to 10.11. In attendance, helping the mayor was Kurt Bellavance, Director of Community Development, and Stacy Bernson, the Assistant Director of Community Development. There was a number of discussions. Councilor McGinn brought up some great points, and we finally wrapped it up, and we took a vote of the subcommittee, and it passed 5-0 to accept the, motion was made by Councilor McGinn to accept the housing production plan as presented to the council, and it passed 5-0. So moved, Mr. President. And I'd like to make a, Mr. President, if we could, we'd like to make a motion to, of the full council to accept the PBD housing production plan as submitted to the council by Mr. Bellavance. So moved.
Thank you, Councilor Gould. You've heard the motion. Comments? Councilor McGinn.
Thank you, Mr. President. Through you to Councilor Gould, just on the motion, can we just tack on to the end of that that it's subject to the remaining administrative edits that were identified during tonight's meeting?
Thank you, Councilor McGinn. So moved.
Thank you, Councilors Gould and Chairman Gould. You've heard the motion. Any comments? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Councilors Gould,
Yes.
Manning Martin.
Yes.
Sasslaw,
Yes.
Welton,
Yes.
Charis,
Yes.
McGinn,
Yes.
Mitsoulas,
Yes.
Turco,
Yes.
Rozignol,
Yes.
Melville,
Yes.
O'Neill.
Yes.
Motion carries 11-0.
No further discussions, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman Gould. Could we also accept the mayor's late communication also as part of this?
So moved, Mr. President.
You've heard the motion by Chairman Gould. Any comments? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Councilors Gould,
Yes.
Manning Martin.
Yes.
Sasslaw,
Yes.
Welton,
Yes.
Charis,
Yes.
McGinn,
Yes.
Mitsoulas,
Yes.
Turco,
Yes.
Rozignol,
Yes.
Melville,
Yes.
O'Neill.
Yes.
Motion carries 11-0.
That is the report of committee, Mr. President.
Thank you, Chairman Gould. We'll now move to the report of the Finance Committee with Chairman McGinn.
Thank you, Mr. President. Finance Committee met earlier this evening. Present for the committee were Councilors Gould, Manning Martin, Rozignol, Turco, and myself as chair. All other councilors, Welton, Mitsoulas, Charest, Sasslaw, O'Neill, and Melville were present. We had one item on the agenda. Actually, also, as this had to do with a school matter, we had, in addition, we had school committee member Griffin Dunn and school superintendent Dr. Vidala also in attendance. The one item on the agenda dealt with the Welsh School roof request. The mayor explained that the request was associated with a MSBA accelerated repair grant program, and that this was the first step in the process, and addressed a couple of questions in that regard. Subsequently, there was a motion by Councilor Gould, which was as follows: move to approve fiscal 2021 appropriation transfer from bond premium reserve for projects, account number 270-0000-33015, in an amount of $21,000 to West School Roof, account number 300-0000-35886, in an amount of $21,000. That motion passed the committee unanimously, Mr. President. I now bring that motion to the full council for consideration. So moved.
Thank you, Chairman. Again, you've heard the motion. Any comments? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Councilors Gould,
Yes.
Manning Martin.
Yes.
Sasslaw,
Yes.
Welton,
Yes.
Charis, McGinn,
Yes.
Mitsoulas,
Yes.
Turco,
Yes.
Rozignol,
Yes.
Melville,
Yes.
O'Neill.
Yes.
Motion carries 11-0.
Thank you, Mr. President. That is the full report.
Thank you, Chairman. Again, at this time, we'll do a report of the Committee of the Whole. This evening, we met with all councilors present with one item on the agenda, which was our annual review, as required by the city's ordinance, to review the mayor's salary. We discussed it, and the mayor had written a note to the city council asking that due to the economic conditions and the effects of the pandemic, that he not receive an increase to his salary at this time, and the Committee of the Whole voted unanimously to leave the mayor's salary as is. So at this time, I'd accept a motion to keep the mayor's salary at the same level, current level.
So moved, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilor Gould. You've heard the motion. Any comments? Roll call vote, please.
Councilors Gould,
Yes.
Manning Martin,
Yes.
Sasslaw,
Yes.
Welton,
Yes.
Charis,
Yes.
McGinn,
Yes.
Mitsoulas,
Yes.
Turco,
Yes.
Rozignol,
Yes.
Melville,
Yes.
O'Neill.
Yes.
Motion carries 11-0.
Thank you. We'll now move to Motions, orders, and resolutions. Councilor Gould.
No motions, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilor Gould. Councilor Manning Martin.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Under suspension of the rules, motion to receive item 7A, transfer of funds, cable fund expenses, and refer to finance. So moved.
Thank you, Councilor Manning Martin. You've heard the motion. Any comments? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Councilors Gould,
Yes.
Manning Martin. Yes. Sasslaw,
Yes.
Welton,
Yes.
Charist. Yes. McGinn,
Yes.
Mitsoulas,
Yes.
Turco,
Yes.
Rozignol,
Yes.
Melville,
Yes.
O'Neill.
Yes.
Motion carries 11-0.
Councilor Manning Martin.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Under suspension of the rules, motion to receive item 7B, and receive and approve the mayor's request to extend outdoor dining initiative from April 1st, 2021 to December 31st, 2021. So moved.
Thank you, Councilor Manning Martin. I think on this one, the mayor's request, the last two times we reviewed it, we've referred it to a committee of the whole. So would you be agreeable to amending your motion?
I would be agreeable if there are no, it was under suspension of the rules, so if there is an objection, we can do that, but I didn't know if we need to have a whole meeting on it. If members object and want to discuss it, of course I would defer. But under suspension of the rules, if there is no objection, I'd prefer we just take care of it, unless there are objections and discussion warranted.
Councilor Manning Martin, Councilor McGinn.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have no objection. I just, because we've done this twice previously, I'd just like to suggest a change to the structure of the motion to be consistent with how we did it the prior two times. So if Councilor Manning Martin, assuming there's no objections from other councilors, if she'd be open to adjusting the language of the motion for the sake of consistency. Which would be to amend the temporary outdoor dining regulations and temporary outdoor dining agreement, changing the dates, the expiration dates on both documents from April 1st, 2021 to December 31st, 2021.
And that is the mayor's request, correct?
It is, but the mayor's request didn't make specific reference to the documents, so I just want to make sure that we adjust the document effectivity dates. It's just an administrative thing, Councilor Manning Martin.
Okay, so moved.
Thank you, Councilor Manning Martin. And point of order, I was incorrect. The first time we discussed this matter was a committee of the whole. The second time we extended it, we just approved it by motion. So I just wanted to make that clarification. Thank you.
It's all good. It's all good. Thank you.
On the motion, Councilor Charest.
Thank you. I don't have an objection, but can we look into, or can we ask the mayor to look into having this more of a permanent instead of a temporary kicking the can down? I think we believe this works. We see the benefits of it, but is that something we have able to have a conversation about? I'm not looking to hold it up. I'm just looking to, the thoughts of the committee too.
Thank you, Councilor Charest. Right now, it's just on the motion to approve at this point in time. Further comments? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Councilors Gould,
Yes.
Manning Martin. Yes. Sasslaw,
Yes.
Welton,
Yes.
Charist,
Yes.
McGinn,
Yes.
Mitsoulas,
Yes.
Turco,
Yes.
Rozignol,
Yes.
Melville,
Yes.
O'Neill.
Yes.
Motion carries 11-0.
Councilor Manning Martin.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Under suspension of the rules, motion to receive item 8B, a letter from Christopher Gilbert in support of Mills 58 Pulaski Street, and also to accept with gratitude for his input. So moved.
Thank you, Councilor Manning Martin. You've heard the, I guess it's a motion, and we want to make sure we acknowledge people writing into the council and letters. So any discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Councilors Gould,
Yes.
Manning Martin. Yes. Sasslaw,
Yes.
Welton,
Yes.
Charist,
Yes.
McGinn, Mitsoulas,
Yes.
Turco,
Yes.
Rozignol,
Yes.
Melville,
Yes.
O'Neill.
Yes.
Motion carries 11-0.
Councilor Manny Martin.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and not a motion, but just a point of information. We also did, I think, all individually receive another letter in support of Mills 58, and actually in support of the housing that's being proposed there, from Matt McGavro. And I think he sent it to us all individually and not as a group, so Allison did not get it. So we will forward that into record, but I just wanted to also thank Matt McGavro for his input on a matter too. And as the Council President said, we always appreciate residents at home sending us old-fashioned letters to enter into the record, and we appreciate their input. So please continue to reach out to the council and send letters or emails and tell us what you're thinking. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Councilor Manny Martin. For point of good order, you can accept that correspondence if you want as late communication from Mr. McGavro.
That is a stupendous idea. Motion to receive late communication from Matt McGavro regarding 58 Mills. Thank you so much. So moved.
You heard the motion. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Councilors Gould,
Yes.
Manning Martin,
Yes.
Sasslaw,
Yes.
Welton,
Yes.
Charist, McGinn,
Yes.
Mitsoulas,
Yes.
Turco,
Yes.
Rozignol,
Yes.
Melville,
Yes.
O'Neill.
Yes.
Motion carries 11-0.
Councilor Manny Martin.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. No further motions.
Thank you, Councilor Manny Martin. Councilor Sasslaw.
Thank you, Council President. Under suspension of rules, motion to receive item 8C and set up a special permit hearing.
You've heard the motion by Councilor Sasslaw. Any comments? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Councilors Gould,
Yes.
Manning Martin,
Yes.
Sasslaw,
Yes.
Welton,
Yes.
Charist,
Yes.
McGinn,
Yes.
Mitsoulas,
Yes.
Turco,
Yes.
Rozignol,
Yes.
Melville,
Yes.
O'Neill.
Yes.
Motion carries 11-0.
Councilor Sasslaw.
Thank you. I'd like to ask Clerk Danforth if she could set up at the next schedule a subcommittee meeting of the Municipal Safety Committee. We have 2 items in committee to be heard. Also, if she could set that up no earlier than 6:45 so that all committee members can be present and on time. So that next meeting, once the next regularly scheduled meeting, a subcommittee meeting of the Municipal Safety Committee, no earlier than 6:45, please. And no other further motions or resolutions. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Sasslaw. For point of good order, if you want to just make that an motion that you want to have a meeting of the Municipal Safety Committee.
Yeah, I'd like to make a motion, have a meeting of the Municipal Safety Committee on Thursday, March 11th. So move.
Thank you, Councilor Sasslaw. You've heard the motion. Any comments? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Councilors Gould,
Yes.
Manning Martin, Sasslaw,
Yes.
Welton,
Yes.
Charist,
Yes.
McGinn,
Yes.
Mitsoulas,
Yes.
Turco,
Yes.
Rozignol,
Yes.
Melville,
Yes.
O'Neill.
Yes.
Motion carries 11-0.
Nothing further. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you, Councilor Sasslaw. Councilor Welton.
Thank you, Mr. President. No motions this evening, just a brief comment. I'd like to thank everyone for their hard work on the housing production plan, but would also like to encourage the continued discussion in the investment in the housing rehabilitation program and proactively pursuing more rehabilitation opportunities throughout the city. Not only will it help us get to our threshold of affordable housing units, but it's also very much needed. So no formal motion, but would just continue to urge the mayor and Mr. Bellavance and the council to pursue those opportunities aggressively. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Welton. Councilor Shrest.
Thank you, Council President. I'd like to make a motion to ask, maybe put in a committee to look for outdoor dining being permanent and what we would need to do that for the expansion of what we have. I'm sure Mr. Melville will have a thought on that. So move.
On the motion, Councilor Melville.
Just as a point of kind of clarification, so any current restaurant, if they have an alcohol license, so I'm talking specific to them, they have a committee. It's the licensing board. They can apply for a permanent to extend their present premise permanently. The current setup, the current order from the governor, so it's Mass General Law, Chapter 180, Acts of 2020 was an emergency order that allowed the extension so that you didn't have to go through the typical process. So that has not changed. What has changed is the leniency on places where people can dine out to address the issues that indoor dining had. So anybody can apply to extend their premise. It's just a matter of, would that location that they'd be extending to be something that's within the city or town ordinance or state law? A lot of these locations, a lot of the premises have been extended into public domains. And there's ways to do that, but that will require something through the licensing board, and it could require a special permit, work through the zoning, but there's a number of different, it's a similar process as anybody that'd be extending anything, so.
So if I may, through the chair, if I may. So you're saying any of the established restaurants that are operating now can apply for a permanent on their own?
Through the chair.
Council Melville.
Yes, they can. All that has occurred is, what we did from the city level was, we streamlined the process so that you would not have to go through your typical process of extending your premise, doing a butters notifications, all of the work that goes into it, applying, depending on what you're doing, the application could have to go to the state level for review. All of that was streamlined by the governor's order, and that's all that's done to extend these premises. And anybody that wants to make something permanent has absolutely the right to do so at any moment. It's the same process as was there before. I guess what makes this different and successful is it gave people an opportunity to actually see something that they wouldn't have typically seen before, because they might not have been intending to make the investment of time or money on something based off of a floor plan or something. So that's pretty much where it's at. Nothing has changed to stop anybody from extending their premise. Now, whether those extensions could be approved at the local level or the state level that's a different question.
Through the chair.
Thank you, Council Melville.
Yeah, through the chair. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to understand. So my thought of some of these establishments who did not apply because they didn't want to make what they thought maybe would be a short-term revenue, maybe saying, hey, listen, I would like to do this if we're able to do it to have a long-term, but you're saying they can go through the state, the same process there was before, but they can't do it through the setup there is now for a permanent. It's only for temporary.
Through the chair. Yeah, that's correct. I mean, it's temporary. It was a streamlined process to meet an emergency, and that was the idea behind it. Just a suggestion. I would suggest you only have 18 of these that we could send out through the mayor's office, community development, whoever. The licensing board could do this as well. Just send out a letter asking if this is something somebody wants to make permanent. Here's the process you would do to go through to doing that. I would caution just on grandfathering these in somehow is that there was not a, the situation in May of 2021 is going to be very different than the situation in May of 2020. I mean, the crowd, the amount of people, or actually I should say more of September, Labor Day weekend is what I would target.
Through the chair. Thank you, Council Melville. You really explained it a lot better than I understood it. So I will rescind my motion.
Thank you, Councilor Stress. And once again, Council Melville, I echo Councilor Stress' comments, very informative. Councilor Stress.
Thank you, Council President. I'd like to make a motion to ask DPW to look at the lack of catch basins on Emery Street, and if that is a concern for the water flow that potentially will be coming down that street even more if we continue with our overlay projects that we have affirmed there. So move.
Thank you, Councilor Suresh. You've heard the motion. Any comments? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Gould,
Yes.
Manning Martin, Sasslaw,
Yes.
Welton,
Yes.
Charis,
Yes.
McGinn,
Yes.
Mitsoulas,
Yes.
Turco,
Yes.
Rossignol,
Yes.
Melville,
Yes.
O'Neill.
Yes.
Motion carries 11-0.
Councilor Suresh. Excuse me, Councilor Suresh, you got your mic on. Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Excuse me, another request for DPW to put on their list of spring cleanup for the sidewalks on both sides of Prospect from 114 up to the stoplight where, stop sign where Avalon Apartments are. It seems to be always, for many years, neglected, and the sidewalk is being utilized by many people walking these days, but it's very difficult. So I just asked for that to be put on their list. So move.
Thank you, Councilor Suresh. You've heard the motion by Councilor Suresh. Any comments? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Councilors Gould,
Yes.
Manning Martin, Sasslaw,
Yes.
Welton,
Yes.
Charis,
Yes.
McGinn,
Yes.
Mitsoulas,
Yes.
Turco,
Yes.
Rossignol,
Yes.
Melville,
Yes.
O'Neill.
Yes.
Motion carries 11-0.
Suresh.
For a point of information for some of the residents who had experienced some odors coming from Rousselot this last few days. The report that I got, it was from a scheduled maintenance issue with the aeration tanks that needed to be the slime or sludge that's built up on the bottom had to be vacuumed out. And with all vacuums, you know, there is an exhaust, and odors were exhausted out, for lack of a better word, for a period of time of an hour or two. So that was the odors. Wasn't any breakdown of the equipment, but they were reporting to the Board of Health this afternoon at 4:30. I did not get the report, obviously, before this meeting started, but they will be reporting out, and they've been keeping the Board of Health abreast what's happening. I have also requested to Rousselot, and I believe the Board of Health has requested that any maintenance that would be reported to the Board of Health beforehand on a regular basis, 6 months out, so everyone will know, and to keep in mind that maintenance would not happen if it's a long weekend, you know, a Monday or a Friday or things like that. So they were very receptive to that. Just a point of information. The other is I've been getting some calls up in Brooksby Farm with water pressure that people had experienced, and they knew that we have this new pump system. We have new lines coming in, and curious about what's going on. Talked to the water department today. Because of the new lines that we have and gates that's old, they've been finding they're not always shutting off so they could keep the high pressure built up. But they are working on it, and obviously because of the weather, they have to be limited to the days they can do the work, so the freezing and thawing of the lines. So this is something they are aware of. They are working very much towards getting it accomplished. But again, with old lines and old gates, it's taking some work. So I'm just letting the people know that this is nothing, hopefully a long term, they'll be getting it as soon as the weather starts to break too. And that will be all. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Suresh. Councilor McGinn.
Thank you, Mr. President. Under suspension of the rules, move to receive item 8A. So moved.
You've heard the motion by Councilor McGinn. Any comments on the motion? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Gould,
Yes.
Manning Martin, Sasslaw,
Yes.
Welton,
Yes.
Charist,
Yes.
McGinn,
Yes.
Mitsoulas,
Yes.
Turco,
Yes.
Rozignol,
Yes.
Melville.
Yes.
O'Neill.
Yes.
Motion carries 11-0.
Councilor McGinn.
Thank you, Mr. President. Under suspension of the rules, move to receive item 8F and refer to Industrial and Community Development. Mr. President, on the motion, this was received in committee tonight, just making this motion for administrative purposes. So moved.
Thank you, Councilman McGinn. Point of order, I believe Chairman Gould not only received it, but also accepted it. So I think we're in good order. That's my recollection.
I think Councilor Gould took in the late communication. I would defer to the chairman on this. I'm not sure if he took in the report itself.
I didn't. Good point, Councilman McGinn. I took in the late communication. We did not receive the package as a whole.
Just to clarify, Mr. Chairman, I think in the report of committee, he reported out the motion, he reported out the late communication, but not the motion that we took in committee to take this in.
Thank you for the clarification, Councilman McGinn. And best just to, for point of good order, just take it. You've heard the motion from Councilman McGinn. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Councilors Gould,
Yes.
Manning Martin, Sasslaw,
Yes.
Welton,
Yes.
Charist,
Yes.
McGinn,
Yes.
Mitsoulas,
Yes.
Turco,
Yes.
Rozignol,
Yes.
Melville.
Yes.
O'Neill.
Yes.
Motion carries 11-0.
Councilman McGinn.
Thank you, Mr. President. No further motions.
Thank you, Councilman McGinn. Councilman Mitsoulas.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Under suspension of the rules, I'd like to move to item 8D. I'd like to make a motion to receive and set up a public hearing. So move.
You've heard the motion from Councilman Mitsoulas. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Councilors Gould,
Yes.
Manning Martin.
Yes.
Sasslaw,
Yes.
Welton,
Yes.
Charist,
Yes.
McGinn,
Yes.
Mitsoulas,
Yes.
Turco,
Yes.
Rozignol,
Yes.
Melville,
Yes.
O'Neill.
Yes.
Motion carries 11-0.
Councilor Mitsoulas.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have one motion. I'd like to request Public Services to install a one-way sign on the top half of Harris Street. So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Councilman Mitsoulas. You've heard the motion. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Councilors Gould,
Yes.
Manning Martin, Sasslaw,
Yes.
Welton,
Yes.
Charist,
Yes.
McGinn,
Yes.
Mitsoulas,
Yes.
Turco,
Yes.
Rozignol,
Yes.
Melville,
Yes.
O'Neill.
Yes.
Motion carries 11-0.
Councilor Mitsoulas.
No further motions, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Mitsoulas. Councilor Turco.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As I mentioned during subcommittee, I had a couple of motions regarding the affordability requirements within the city. So I'd like to ask for a motion. It's a motion to ask the building commissioner to provide the council with the number of new units produced in the city on a biannual basis, preferably January and July of each year. So moved.
Thank you, Councilor Turco. You've heard the motion. Any discussion? On the motion, Councilor Rozignol.
Thank you, Mr. President. Through you to Councilor Turco. Do you have dates on that to start with? Or just this is moving forward?
Yeah, this is moving forward. My second motion will address from today retroactive to the 2010 census.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Rozignol. Any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Councilors Gould,
Yes.
Manning Martin, Sasslaw,
Yes.
Welton, Charist,
Yes.
McGinn,
Yes.
Mitsoulas,
Yes.
Turco,
Yes.
Rozignol,
Yes.
Melville.
Yes.
O'Neill.
Yes.
Motion carries 11-0.
Councilor Turco.
Thank you, Mr. President. The second motion would be to ask the building commissioner to provide the city council with the number of new units produced from today's date retroactively to 2011, when the 2010 census was provided to the city, with a yearly breakdown of how those units were produced.
Thank you, Councilor Turco. You've heard the motion. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Councilors Gould,
Yes.
Manning Martin, Sasslaw,
Yes.
Welton, Charis,
Yes.
McGinn,
Yes.
Mitsoulas,
Yes.
Turco,
Yes.
Rozignol,
Yes.
Melville,
Yes.
O'Neill.
Yes.
Motion carries 11-0.
Councilor Turco.
Thank you, Mr. President. As most of you may know, the resident trash day, which was on Saturdays at Republic Waste up on Farm Ave, has been canceled essentially since the beginning of the pandemic, and I think that's contributed to a lot of the large items that we see on the side of the roads, whether it be, furniture or mattresses or whatnot. And I'd like to ask the mayor to work on re-implementing the Saturday Resident Day as soon as possible with spring coming. So moved.
Thank you, Councilor Turco. You've heard the motion from Councilor Turco. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Councilors Gould,
Yes.
Manning Martin, Sasslaw,
Yes.
Welton,
Yes.
Charis,
Yes.
McGinn,
Yes.
Mitsoulas,
Yes.
Turco,
Yes.
Rozignol,
Yes.
Melville,
Yes.
O'Neill.
Yes.
Motion carries 11-0.
Councilor Turco.
Thank you, Mr. President. Last motion, it's a co-motion with Council Welton to have no parking here to corner signs installed by DPS at the end of Aberdeen Ave as you approach Lynn Street. So moved.
Thank you, Councilor Turco. You've heard the co-motion from Councilors Turco and Councilor Welton. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Councilors Gould,
Yes.
Manning Martin,
Yes.
Sasslaw,
Yes.
Welton,
Yes.
Charis,
Yes.
McGinn,
Yes.
Mitsoulas,
Yes.
Turco,
Yes.
Rozignol,
Yes.
Melville,
Yes.
O'Neill.
Yes.
Motion carries 11-0.
Councilor Turco.
That's all tonight. Thank you very much, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilor Turco. Councilor Rozignol.
Thank you, Council President. Under suspension of the rules, motion to receive and approve all papers being in order. Class 2 motor vehicle license 2021 renewal for North Shore Automotive, 100 Blaney Street. So moved.
Thank you, Councilor Rozignol. You've heard the motion. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Councilors Gould,
Yes.
Manning Martin, Sasslaw,
Yes.
Welton,
Yes.
Charis, McGinn,
Yes.
Mitsoulas,
Yes.
Turco,
Yes.
Rozignol,
Yes.
Melville,
Yes.
O'Neill.
Yes.
Motion carries 11-0.
Councilor Rozignol.
Thank you, Mr. President. Under suspension of the rules, I'd like to receive and approve all papers being in order. In-holder license 2021 renewal, Holiday Inn, Peabody, Mass, Route 1. So moved.
You've heard the motion from Councilor Rozignol. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Councilors Gould,
Yes.
Manning Martin.
Yes.
Sasslaw,
Yes.
Welton,
Yes.
Charis,
Yes.
McGinn,
Yes.
Mitsoulas,
Yes.
Turco,
Yes.
Rozignol,
Yes.
Melville,
Yes.
O'Neill.
Yes.
Motion carries 11-0.
Councilor Rozignol.
Thank you, Mr. President. Under suspension of the rules, motion to receive and approve all papers being in order. Junk dealer license 2021 renewal for GameStop, Inc., 210 Andover Street. So moved.
You've heard the motion from Councilor Rozignol. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Councilors Gould,
Yes.
Manning Martin, Sasslaw,
Yes.
Welton,
Yes.
Charis,
Yes.
McGinn,
Yes.
Mitsoulas,
Yes.
Turco,
Yes.
Rozignol,
Yes.
Melville, O'Neill.
Yes.
Motion carries 11-0.
Councilor Rozignol.
Thank you, Mr. President. No further motions.
Yep. Thank you, Councilor Rozignol. Councilor Melville.
Move to receive item 8E, forward to the mayor and the finance director for a response, and request that they CC the city council on that said response. So moved.
Thank you, Councilor Melville. You've heard the motion from Councilor Melville. Any discussion? On the motion, Councilor McGinn.
Thank you, Mr. President. Through you to Council Melville. Would it make sense to also involve the city solicitor on that?
That makes total sense. So moved.
Thank you, Councilor McGinn. You've heard the motion from Councilor Melville. Any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Councilors Gould,
Yes.
Manning Martin,
Yes.
Sasslaw,
Yes.
Welton,
Yes.
Charis,
Yes.
McGinn,
Yes.
Mitsoulas,
Yes.
Turco,
Yes.
Rossignol,
Yes.
Melville,
Yes.
O'Neill.
Yes.
Motion carries 11-0.
Councilor Melville.
Just a comment, I would suggest that every counselor, anybody in a leader in the community, continue to advocate to the state and to anybody in authority that they start empowering our local health departments, senior centers to participate within this vaccination effort. I saw firsthand the operation that our health department, our senior center put together, and it is a weapon against coronavirus not being utilized enough. And that's the way we got to start looking at this thing. Sharon Cameron, her staff, and Carolyn Wynn and her staff were not only organized and ready to go, they ensured that the people that are most vulnerable to this thing were protected well, ensuring that they got vaccinated, contacted, and got a ride home. This is the organization that you're not seeing in a lot of these places right now throughout the state. And I think that it's a lost opportunity, and I think at every opportunity that we have, we should be advocating that process be implemented at the local level at every chance we can get. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Melville. Well said. Any other further motions, orders, or resolutions? Thank you. I have no motions, orders, or resolutions, but I just wanted to quickly, at the last meeting, we discussed whether there are any volunteers from the City Council to take part in the effort to come up with a revised recreation and open space plan, and working with our community development. Councilor Welton has gladly volunteered, so I want to thank him and for volunteering with everything else going on in everyone's busy lives. So thank you. I'll now entertain a motion to adjourn.
Mr. President,
Councilor Gould.
I'm sorry, I'm delinquent. Through you to Clerk Danforth. Allison, can you set up a industrial community development subcommittee meeting? I think we have 1 or 2 items in it. Please.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Sorry, Mr. President. Thank you.
Mr. President, I'm sorry.
Just on Councilor Gould, could you make a motion,
wanna make that a
motion that
motion?
you want to have a
Sure,
meeting
yeah.
for ICD? Thank you.
Sure. I'd like to make a motion to conduct an industrial community development subcommittee meeting at the next available meeting. Thank you. So moved.
Thank you, Councilor Gould. You've heard the motion from Councilor Gould to establish a ICD meeting. Any comments or discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Councilors Gould,
Yes.
Manning Martin,
Yes.
Sasslaw,
Yes.
Welton,
Yes.
Charis,
Yes.
McGinn,
Yes.
Mitsoulas,
Yes.
Turco,
Yes.
Rossignol,
Yes.
Melville, O'Neill.
Yes.
Motion carries 11-0.
Councilor Manning Martin, you had a comment?
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. I appreciate it. I just would be remiss if I didn't give one last shout out to Councilor Gould for completing that housing production plan, getting it over the finish line. So good job there, Tom. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your inspiration, Council Manning Martin.
Thank you, Councilor Manning Martin. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. You've heard the motion. Roll call vote, please.
Councilors Gould,
Yes.
Manning Martin,
Yes.
Sasslaw,
Yes.
Welton,
Yes.
Charis,
Yes.
McGinn,
Yes.
Mitsoulas,
Yes.
Turco,
Yes.
Rossignol.
Yes.
Melville, O'Neill.
Yes.
Motion carries 11-0.
This meeting is now adjourned.